You can even have one specially made. Dairy Queen frozen birthday cakes.
Hey, give me money. YouTube memberships. Become a member of my weirdo empire. Just 99 cents a month, you can become Max Thrasher the Bounty Hunter yourself. Special badges, shoutouts at the beginning of the streams, and you get to feel good about yourself. For $4.99 a month, you can join the Erotic Eric Fontaine tier. All those other perks, plus once a month, you can join me and our friends for a special not quite wrestling live stream where we watch something that's kinda like wrestling, but not quite. And for $9.99 a month, you can play Armstrong Bingo with us. It's all that other stuff, plus once a year, you can select what we watch on Off the Grid. Just don't make it porn, don't make it something that'll get me a copyright strike. Please send a link because I don't want to do work. I'm lazy. Get on YouTube now, support me, I'll thank you later. Literally, I will thank you. And until we can fix capitalism, this is the best I can do.
From the swamps of Louisiana, the Cajun Predator.
The day of the hairy freak or the fat slob is practically gone.
Let the party begin. I've got snacks.
Hey, look at us. We did it again. Another 7 days on the sun. Welcome to WCW Deep Cuts Live. My name is Tom. My hair is messed up. What the hell was I thinking of getting on camera like this? Oh boy, oh boy. Hey, so yeah, my name's right there. This is WCW Deep Cuts Live, where every Tuesday at 9 p.m. we all get together. We watch the quote-unquote forgotten television classics. I put the quotes in the wrong places. World Championship Wrestling in the 1990s. Hello to everyone in the Erotic Eric Fontaine fan club, aka the chat. I think it was Signal No, who has become the second person to point out. Hello Jonesy, thank you so much for the follow. That the Earth doesn't go around the sun in one day, or 7 even. Listen, I started saying that over a year ago. And everybody's so polite here. Nobody wanted to correct me. Hello, is it Corpdim? I'm so sorry. Scorp DLM. Thank you so much for the follow. A lot of follows up front. But I do realize that the Earth doesn't go around. But it's a thing. I say it now. So hello to everybody. Glad to have you here. In a second, we're going to watch a couple episodes of WCW TV from January of 1990. We're going to watch the Saturday night show, which was not Saturday night at that point. It was just World Championship Wrestling. Hello, Donnie from Blue Sky. Hello. Also, shout out Cassidy Haynes from bodyslam.net. I saw him popping up, leaving some comments on Twitter before we started. Glad to have you around, Cassidy, doing some great work, breaking the news over on bodyslam.net. Speaking of breaking things, shout out to the people who are breaking the internet, the real heroes of the day, the members of my weirdo empire, aka my YouTube members. Shout out to Brian Dermody, the man, the myth, the legend, Commish Spiffy, Toroid 11, Dave in Syracuse, everyone's friend Jonathan Mayer, Scott Keith, the Scott Keith, Hidden Track, Izzy McClure, Jason Honeycutt, Fartmaster Supreme, Ken Terminated DQ, JT, Jacob Kinney, Brenticus Maximus, Champagne NJD, Adam Suzanne, the Suzanimal, Yankee Hawk 04, Peyton Andrews, Adam Simon, Brent Clark, Anthony Marola, Stephen J. Neptune Man, Bam Dog, Sean Fox, Jesse Jamie, Impua, Wild Woobs, Brandon Stevenson, Casual Villainy, Dima Bauer, Ninja Tower Black, Active Graves, Mark Webster, Justin aka Buddha Bull, Unpop, Sean O'Connell, Coop's Footy Videos, goes to Coopy's Foot Videos, D-Cribs, Brando H, and our newest member, El Hijo del Santo Gold. If you're watching this on the YouTube VOD, just click. You can like hold down the join button, the subscribe button, and it'll give you a way to join. If you're watching live on Twitch right now, go to the YouTube channel or go to that link there, tinyurl.com/givetommoney. Now, speaking of giving me things, give me conversation. Join the Discord, tinyurl.com/Discord for Tom Green. Go there. The link should work, and you can join. Keep the chat up. The chatter. So today there's some chatting about Dean Malenko eating dogs and Ralphus in a dress and all sorts of good stuff. So again, join the Discord right there. We got a lot of show to get into right now. So let's go. So I am trying. I tried some new thing here. See if it'll work. If it doesn't, then I'll dump it. Like the ex-girlfriend that it is. Also, as always, let me know how the audio is. Mic's a little further away from my mouth than normal. Tried to do something different with the stand and the camera and such. We're watching World Championship Wrestling, January 13th, 1990. Rhubarb Jones is in the ring. Yeah, Sting's one of those guys who I think was better as a promo before he knew what he was doing. Like, especially like the early, like 88 stuff leading into the Flair match at the Clash. He says the dumbest shit, but he's got so much conviction. Also, shout out to Kevin Sullivan's bolo tie.
February 25th, that will be in Greensboro, North Carolina, and because he won
Thank you, Ghost of Burt
competition, the Stinger will be awarded a championship match.
A lot of people hate the intros
to whomever the champion may be on the 25th.
A lot of people say I don't know how to pronounce the word cut. Rapture Savage, thank you so much for the sub as I drop a bottle lid, like the real slovenly boy that I am.
Lex Luger's going to get Sting, whether it's in the parking lot, whether it's here. I believe that the match eventually will be Luger and Flair at the pay-per-view.
Plus, ladies and gentlemen, we'll see the Rock and Roll Express in action in the ring in the program.
You think Jim Ross is doing that like squatty Tom Phillips stance?
Should be most interesting, ladies and gentlemen, and the Louisville Slugger.
There's no way Kevin Sullivan's almost as tall as Jim Ross. Jim Ross is like a large man. Brian says Sullivan's the first Bostonian in history to look natural in a bolo tie. All right, got Bob Cook in the ring, sporting his Evil Knievel tights. I've always mentioned it. Bob Cook loves Evil Knievel. He's a legit Evil Knievel historian.
From Venice Beach, California, at 250 pounds, this is Sting.
And the Stinger making his way to the ring. And I'll tell you something.
Being the Iron Man of the 90s, according to that sign. Wow, wow. We've addressed it before on here. That song's better than the Slam Jam song.
But my question is, how, Kevin, will that affect? I'm going to ask him that today. How do you think it'll affect the relationship within
Look at that beautiful, not even a rat tail, it's just a ponytail. Yes, we do have the old lady bathing suit strap there. Jim Ross, I swear Jim Ross is taller than 5'10". It's huge next to like some decent sized guys. But if you say it Yankee Hawk, I'll believe you. Nice, Brian. Hey, Bob Cook deserved a push. He's real good. I think Nathan, to answer you, I think the overall era of Sting, the overall work of Sting is better in this era. But like, I'm happy we got those 2 years to celebrate Sting in AEW. Sting in AEW just felt like a party that we all got to go to. Celebrate Sting. Jonesy, thank you for the sub. Cassidy, yes, Sting had just won the Starrcade Iron Man Round Robin tournament.
Develop a killer instinct. Lex Luger is not going to let this go unanswered. Lex Luger for a year has chased
that Starrcade where they're like, hey, let's run 2 round robin tournaments and then also do other matches. Hell yeah, Jonesy, I'm glad to have you.
jump Sting here.
Yeah, so as Stephen J. Neptune Man pointed out, Sting is in the Four Horsemen at this point.
And on the other hand, it may be Luger as the world's champion on February 25th, and the match could be Luger and Sting.
Bob Cook as Blackblood would have been interesting. I would have loved to hear his French accent.
Whomever the world's champion will be on February 25th.
I'm happy Tully got the AEW run too.
Now we'll talk to the Four Horsemen about this. It should be most interesting to hear
The shame it ended the way it
about
did.
this. Will there be conflict or not? We'll talk about that on the program.
Hey, Refs as Wizards, welcome, howdy.
Last week on the main event, Kevin, I was
I love these drunk frat guys in the front row. Yeah, break his leg.
Well, Jim,
Put that guy in workman's comp.
Jim, it was his property, but it was an insulting thing. And you asked me where I got my money last week.
Brian, God bless Sullivan's accent. You can practically smell the donkey's black coffee and Winston's on his breath.
People to do the jobs well. I did my
Nick
job
Patrick,
well.
what are you doing?
There, Jim, because you and I
You're gonna break it up. You should have broken it up before, you weirdo.
I think he's a nitwit. But let's get back to this match.
More wrestlers should be calling people
What is
nitwits.
going on in his
It's a
mind
good
right
insult.
now that he knows he has? Look at his eyes. That he has the match
Look at his
with
eyes.
the world champion February 25th.
Well, I know that since that announcement was made and the contracts were signed.
Yeah, he's actually working the legs, TK Bomber, for the Scorpion Deathlock, which is weird because I always thought of it as a back submission. Because you're bending the back, but I guess you kind of have like the inverted calf slicer going on with the way the legs are clover-leafed.
But he trains almost every day with Ric Flair.
Matt P, has anyone heard the story of Sullivan talking about Dick Murdoch taught him how to punch with soup cans hung up on strings? No, but I'm not surprised. It's a pretty common thing. I know the Memphis guys, they wouldn't even do the soup cans. They would just hang up a string.
Ric Flair is in the greatest shape.
Hell yeah, Slinger. That's awesome. I'm glad all these veterans are getting figures now.
But as they say in any sport, once the legs go.
And yeah, Brian is an expert about that accent. He grew up in Mass. Yeah, this is he grew up around that accent, and this is someone who talks that way, spoken without asking for $20 worth of lotto scratchers. I botched that quote because the chat was scrolling by, and I believe we do, Cassidy. One of those, God, what was the company who produced them? It was the ones with the black banner, the border, and the star, and the gold stars. I had a bunch of those when I was a kid.
Dealt us now is that Flair is the champion, and to be the man, as he says, you have to beat the man, and no one has beaten the man yet. Lex Luger,
look at those great Bob Cook punches. Everybody, every wrestler from this era. Like, Bob Cook had the best punches. Oh gosh. There we go. Also, can I say, this, for being on national television this time, this ring looks like shit. Like, it's got like the ropes look awful. Like, it just looks old. Nick Patrick acting scared when Sting did the ba-ba-ba-ba-ba thing is the only good thing he ever did in his career.
To make a special presentation, I give you Norman.
I love that they had so much television time in kayfabe, in canon, that Norman was like, hey, can I just like have time to give woman a present on TV? They're like, yeah, we'll give you 5 minutes. Yeah, the brightly bordered ones are the ones, I had those too. Those are the ones that like everybody, the cards Cassidy's talking about, that's this painting of woman, by the way. It's a bit like Teddy Long. Yeah, I had both sets of the WCW cards. Norman, you could tell me here was either 24 or 44, and I believe you. There's Nitron. There's Chad, I'm sure we'll say at some point. Why is he bumping? Why was he bumping? He's 7 feet tall. He's bumping for the comedy guy? Come on. You wanna kiss her? You wanna kiss her? I forget. I think it was Chris Zellner on the Center Stage Chronicles podcast. theorized that Kevin Sullivan put himself with like Doom and Nitron in them during this era, specifically because he didn't want pervy fans reaching out and grabbing his wife. Green Boy, yeah, Kevin Sullivan was married to him. And I'm sure somebody in the YouTube comments for the VOD will be like, no, he killed her and Kevin, or her and Chris.
Norman had it after she slapped him. He snapped. And then came Kevin Sullivan to beat up on poor Norman.
I love the Norman's like, yeah. Chris who? Yeah, that's what I say about that guy.
Ladies and gentlemen, this next event here on World Championship Wrestling.
Yeah, wrestling fans seem to love slovenly guy falls in love with beautiful lady. Paul Drake, God, he is sexy. And his partner in the pervert connection, a gimp.
It's Doom with woman.
And their opponents. It's Doom.
Let's hear these comments from the Steiners.
No Great Balls of Fire. They've switched over fully to the saxophone song. Yeah, Paul Drake, he's in really good shape. He's just very short and he's got an unfortunate mustache. Like, Paul Drake and Agent Steel look like they're going to a perv convention, but for two completely different fetishes.
They can talk all they want about Doom. Just take a look at Doom. They're 290 pounds of
I love the Doom masks, because the eye holes are like this big, and the mouth hole's like this big. And there's also a nose hole in the middle. In case you couldn't tell who the hell it was. Sean Jones, Agent Steel, totally not a guy who already wrestled unmasked earlier in the tape.
Against the championship belts of the Steiners. And there must be a winner, fans, at the Clash. That's on February the 6th.
I forget if George South is on the show or not.
The Steiners will either take the mask off.
I know around this time he was doing some enhancement work for the WWF. I don't know if maybe he got like blackballed, not blackballed, but they were just like, we won't use you. I don't know. Maybe we will see George South. He pops up everywhere. What was the point of the masks? I don't know. WCW.
Well, I'll tell you something. I keep hearing that there's problems in the camp.
The only thing I can think of is like Ron Simmons had just been like, not an enhancement guy on TV, but he was like low guy on the totem pole, like a few months before this. And they wanted him to be like New Age Road Warriors. Agent Steel here is played by Fidel Sierra, of course. Doom 1 is Cuban Assassin, and Doom 2 is Top Gun. Yeah, when I remember when they unmasked, like, they don't even show him on camera because they had to cut real quick because it's a Clash, and everybody goes over their time. But Jim Ross is like, oh, that's the worst kept secret in wrestling. Oh gosh. Like, honestly, I wouldn't be surprised if George South was anybody under a mask, Cassidy. Woman is actually Dave Sierra with a mask. Teddy Long came along, I think, a few months after this. I want to say they were all together by like March. I could be wrong. Again, I'm a simple guy. Teddy was transitioning at this point. From a referee to a manager, not how we use that word these days. Joseph Burns says, I heard they wanted to wear the full mask, but Butch couldn't breathe in it, so they made do with the jock strap. Makes sense. There's something people don't understand about wrestling in masks, too. Like, it's really hard to do so. Kyle Fuseli's dead. Have you seen the Doom ripoff? That Rodney Mack and Marche Rocket. I've seen pictures of them. I don't watch the NWA. Damage Control. Thank you, Greg Bruce. I knew Aaron Rex was with them. And yeah, Cassidy, it's exactly what happened. Teddy Long just acquires them, which
in Johnson City, Tennessee.
Questionable, but that's kind of how WCW just did things at that point. WWF even did things that way. Like, Slick just acquired Rick Mortel in this primetime I'm watching. Agent Steele's Brad Anderson. We were watching so much Brad Anderson on the streams the last couple of weeks.
The Western Union Instant Replay.
Hey, Viva La Fran.
Western Union's the fastest way to send money.
Jimmy's got him up and he takes his head off. And I said it before, they hit his high.
Jimmy's. I love Kevin Sullivan on commentary because he breaks every rule that you think a broadcaster should have to uphold. It's the thickest accent.
And Lieutenant James Earl Wright, the State
I do remember the Soul Touchers. They ruled.
And introducing their
State Patrol, ACAB. Oh yeah, Rock and Roll Express. I'm glad they've recovered from being gently taped to a coat rack last week.
Hello, we're the Rock and Roll Express, and it's a pleasure to be back here in NWA, looking for the NWA World Tag Team titles. That we
that angle was. All cops are jobbers. Yes, I need to make that do a shirt. I need to get on the merch game.
Ricky and Robert very happy to be back in the NWA. They were 4 times tag team champions.
Willie Richardson. I think it was Trauma. From the Soul Touches is a pretty decent comedian out in LA now. As my cat, Egg, you're a dick for jumping on my desk here. The Mock and Turtleneck Express. Trauma's like a decently big comedian in LA now. He does a podcast with my buddy Martin.
Collar and elbow tie up, trying to jockey
between the bell.
Ricky Morton with the advantage thus far, but he's shot off. And right down between the legs, he's so quick.
Cassidy says, my favorite thing to do while watching old shows like this is when a random name pops up like Brad Anderson, to just claim that he trained me. And people always believe it because, I mean, living in North Carolina, it's completely possible. Dude,
He has a 300-pound heart, Jim.
Yeah, it is. Being in Indiana is kind of the same thing. Like, you could just kind of say you're trained by Rip Rogers.
In our first hour, it'll be up next.
Fine. Martin Morrow, yeah. My buddy. Known each other for years. I booked him at a comedy show in Ohio at a wrestling convention once. And I had to apologize to him because the opening act for the comedy show was an all intergender show where every match was a dude mercifully beating the shit out of a woman. And like all the dudes went over. And there are all these comedians they're watching in the background, just horrified. What the fuck is this?
Jim, I don't think they've lost a step since we've seen them last.
I think not.
That's cool, Nathan. Yeah, Martin's great. I love Martin.
It's like they were in that fire for so long, and it's almost like
it's weird with Ricky and Robert. I feel like once January 1st, 1990, like once the ball dropped, that gimmick became so outdated, and those guys immediately like look old. Like they're fine. They're good wrestlers still.
They want to prove themselves again that they can, and perhaps will again hold the World Tag Team Championship. They're in there with a tough team.
Yeah, the bomb Willie Richardson. Yeah, Chicago dude. A lot of charisma. And like very unique charisma.
But the thing about it, they are so good that they are always wrestling as good or better than they are. So they're always in there with the best.
They certainly are, Jim. They'll get a win over the State Patrol is a feather in anybody's cap. These guys...
Well, I know the Rock and Roll Express is still over. They're always going to be over. But like on a national level, like it kind of feels like the time had come and gone for Ricky. Like they have the little run of the WWF. You know, they have the Smoky Mountain runs where like they're over in those towns. Ricky was awesome on Hayden. Ricky's so funny. Man has no filter.
And we get a lot of good
But him and RJ had a great rapport.
They don't call me Geraldo Ross for nothing.
Yeah, Robert Gibson born looking like a 41-year-old thrice divorced dad fresh off of getting child support cover. Which, I mean, you pretty much nailed it. I mean, Ricky was in jail for a while for that shit. Because they based his child support amount off of what he was making in WCW in 91. And then he's like, I think 96 or 97, he's working indies, making a fraction of that. And they're still expecting him to pay like whatever, like $125,000 a year fraction of child support. Oh, Dan Reed for Pro Wrestling Eve. Hello. Yeah, it's the Rockers kind of made them feel out of date. Like, I won't even get into the debate of who's a better team or whatever, which I'll argue the Rockers, but I don't want to debate with you all. Yeah, just made them feel old. That's awesome, Cassie. The Rock and Rolls did a Black Label Pro show around here a few years ago. And after the match, they like sought out my son Noli because it was a bunch of like internet smart marky types. They were like, "Shit, there's a kid here," and they gave him the bandana because they couldn't actually like find a little kid to like give the bandana to, and he still has it. Exactly, Brian. The Rock and Roll Express will always be able to find a booking to get over. Like, there's always going to be an indie show somewhere where they'll be able to draw a big indie crowd.
But the statement said he will wrestle the world's champion, meaning that it could be someone else.
My favorite The Game Has Evolved story with the Rock and Roll Express is when the Rock and Rolls are working Smoky Mountain doing their match, and then the I was gonna say the Stormtrooper. That's a different team. The Thrill Seekers come in, and they're doing the double drop kick off the top rope as like the third move in their match. That's awesome, Cassidy. And I'm sure he's very fun to learn from. He seems like he has an interesting way to explain things. Explain wrestling psychology. A lot of guys seem like they wouldn't be able to teach it, that are good at it, like Bobby Eaton. But Ricky seems like he can teach well. And I'm glad he's training guys at his school. About to get the double drop kick. Bop. 2 and 3.
Another look at that double drop kick. It has taken him to the championship of the world on 4 times.
They shoot him in. It's patent.
Yeah, sometimes they would. That one did kind of whiff on the replay. That's why you gotta check these replays before you air them, guys. Come on. That one from the other camera angle looked like it. I'm about to kick the cat off this desk.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's time for the biggest match.
Sorry, y'all. My cat was being a nuisance.
Here is the Louisville Slugger, Jim Cornette.
There we go. Like if Alex Jones's website was called kayfabewars.com. I love them. I love that. Having to hook the audio set up to the microphone.
I want to get to the bottom of something tonight, right here on World Championship Wrestling, but to do
That's an awesome anecdote, Cassidy. Bobby was also a regular teacher at the school I went to back in the day, and I got invited to his funeral.
Ladies and gentlemen, the heavyweight champion of the world, Nature Boy Ric Flair.
Yeah, these are very almost morose colors. Oh, this is that era where they told Flair, you cannot come out to a real song. Jim Cornette's 28 years old. Thank you, Bam Bam. They had been using real music for everybody, pretty much. And then Bob Seger, of all folks, found out, and he got a hold of his record label. And the record, like a bunch of the big record labels, sent WCW cease and desists. But everybody had different music for like a while. Flair eventually got his back.
Go for your throat and really try to win that title. Did you instead want to wrestle a guy like Sting who's a friend of yours and you think won't hurt you? Huh? Did you?
Huh? Blowing out hot air on me, little man. I'll tell you why Sting got the shot. First of all,
like you could land on Ric Flair's head at this point. You could jump out of a plane, land on his head, be fine.
He took the Starrcade title. He won Iron Man. And he beat Ric Flair to do that. That's why he has the shot. There's no one in the wrestling world today that will deny one fact.
Did you think Jim Herd wanted him to cut his hair just so he could like make an umbrella out of it?
And he deserves a shot at the world title.
Also, I hate the framing on these shots. I like that one, but the other one, it feels so impersonal, like kind of centering. There we go. That's the shot you should be cutting too. Not that weird tight shot on Cornette. Love the guy in the back in the white shirt. Do I think Cornette could successfully do creative today? No, because he's bonkers. And I know a lot of it's a character, a lot of it's a gimmick. But like, every time he's left a wrestling company in the last 25 years, it's been because he threw a big baby fit. So. There we go. Hey Louise. Hey Louise, hello. Viva Pinta, Zero Miedo. Yeah, Woman gets a real song. I mean, you're married to the Booker, has its advantages. Yeah, that Cornette kayfabe commentaries video about the invasion is some of the worst shit. What if we like have Terry Funk like have a fake real fight with somebody? We tell him that everything is fake except for the Terry Funk.
You know, I think I can help you during your match with Sting, and I could also help you do a lot of other things. That is professionally.
You know, this is the second time that you and I.
The Cornette MLW experiment was something. Yes,
you
guys.
gotta know. Yeah, that's right, guys. You gotta know.
I think the only guy he actually liked on the roster was Mance Warner. He seemed to hate everyone else.
Is tell myself and tell
yes, that's right, Louise. Lantron did have a run. CMLL with old Black Magic Norman Smiley.
And if in fact we let you in the door, I'm afraid that Arn Anderson, Ole Anderson, Ric Flair, and even Sting would have a hard time concentrating on the immediate. And
he's going on about Ole Anderson would have such a weird boner, and it would hurt because his pants are pulled up here because he wears those suspenders all the time.
You are awesome, baby.
Cornette, I think MLW was before the NWA. Yeah, it was before, because NWA was pandemic. It was like right before the pandemic.
I plan on ruling the wrestling world.
Why did he end up leaving Ring of Honor? Like death by 1,000 swords.
I could sell you some stock in Cornette Enterprises.
Wouldn't he just have Nitron do all the work while he watched in the corner? Ranger Ross up next. I recently found out I'm going to do a short on it. Going to get a bit more info. Going to message a couple people. Ranger Ross had pitched the PN News gimmick for himself. Oh my God! Look at that! Look at Brody Chase's hair. That's some good shit. But Ranger Ross actually like recorded a rap album. And he's like, "Hey guys, can I just like do this instead?" They're like, "No." Let's bring in a Samoan.
Programming changes each and every day. The number 1-900.
Yeah, Cornette played Goof well. I will say, Cornette was very good at playing Goof. I don't mean that as an insult. Playing Goof is a real skill.
What was woman trying to convey?
Right, Brody Trace was in Wildside.
Sounds to me
A
like
grizzled
he's making
veteran.
some type of business arrangement or some type of opportunity for Flair and the Horsemen. Apparently, she wants to manage the affairs of the Horsemen, which they've never had a manager.
Brody Chase's hair doesn't even look real.
Okay, let's get back to it. The 25th, February.
Like, it looks like he went to Joanne Fabrics, found the cheapest thing, and goes, hair. Ranger Ross would have been a far better candidate. I agree, Cassidy.
Does go into Greensboro as the world champion. If Luger doesn't,
Like, doing like the combat kick, and that's what cutes the record scratch, that would have been so good.
How much is the crowd going to help Flair?
Well, they say that in NFL, the home team has a 3.5-point advantage automatically.
What material is his singlet made out of? It looks like any of you that have played the WWE 2K games lately, they have like a chrome material that you can make the singlets out of in the Creator Wrestler that nobody would ever actually use. Brody Chase is using it. Brody Chase looks like my mom. Looks like a lot of moms, Cassidy, I imagine. John Drax, I wonder if a few years later he'd be Power Ranger Ross. I am fascinated how, like, only in Mexico did anybody try the Power Ranger gimmick. I mean, WCW kind of did it with Mr. JL, but like a 5-person group.
I mean, a man could be injured permanently that he wouldn't make it to February 25th. But in my mind, if it does
Mike Atkins, your referee, the amalgamation of all the other WCW referees.
25th, the Horsemen can't lose. It's going to stay in the family. But what I see,
like, I cannot believe that hair came out of a human scalp.
Let me retract that. People have been able to reverse the figure 4, Jim.
Yes.
Man, I still can't over how, like, with today's eyeballs. No, oh, he almost missed.
Brody Chase here. Got two, Kevin. Go ahead.
With today's eyeballs and like how you can't show empty seats or else everybody on the internet will cry. But like, that building's only half full, and they're just like zooming in on empty seats practically. Yes, Ranger Ross did rob a bank. Yes. Luis, at one point, WCW had almost G.I. Joe wrestling, as well as a firefighter, a ranger, soldier, almost had a mailman, as Watley was going to be a mailman.
Go into a World Championship match if it is that for those two.
What else?
I think that's a mistake. But
there's so many.
We know they're not going to back out of that.
My brain's not bringing
match will happen on the Clash live here on TBS on February 6th.
Pretty much every form of service you could think of. There's a medic, that's right, Sean Drax. Or Brian, sorry, Sean Drax, a leprechaun. A lumberjack, Big Josh. Curtis Hughes, or not Curtis Hughes. Firebreaker Chip was a mailman. U.S. Mail, Curtis Thompson. There was an old tag team in like the 60s called the Medics. And look, they actually drew money. They were like top guys.
Analogy as Ranger Ross works on the wrist lock of Brody Chase, and of course I'm sure we'll spend much more time analyzing the what ifs and what could happen.
See, if I were Ranger Ross, I would just tuck his arm into the back of his singlet and be like, come on, motherfucker, fight me.
But every night that you have the chance to see a Ric Flair or a
there was a guy in IWA Mid-South named Roland Hard who used to do a move where he would like kind of cloverleaf your legs, but then since all of his opponents were like kind of baggy pants because it's IWA Mid-South at the time there was a lot of deathmatch guys that were like gym shorts and stuff, he would take the back of their waistband and tuck it over the toe of the top foot, so they essentially had themselves in an STF. R.I.P. Roland Hart, yes. Passed away 15 years ago. Yes, Cassidy, Michael Wall Street was a stockbroker. Alexander York, of course, a typist. That's all he could do on that thing.
We have seen improve each and every week.
Why is this match so long? I feel like every center stage show we watch, there's some match that goes inexplicably long, and we cannot figure out why.
Confrontation should be most interesting. A little bit later in the program, Brody Chase sitting for the ride, but Ranger Ross nails him downstairs. Ranger Ross has got one great asset for sure going for him,
and that's his butt.
That is his equalizer.
It certainly is, Jim.
King of the Death 2003 was a great show. Good shit for you to go to. I went to 04 and 05 and 06.
The basics. When a guy's down, you go to try to cover him. The name of the game is you pin the man.
He's been kicking Brody Chase's ass for like 5 minutes. He's supposed to be the star, and Brody Chase is just on offense now.
A superstar gonna bud.
I'll tell you something.
And it's not even like he cut him off. It's just, oh, it's my turn.
But Ranger Ross is a young man that you've got to admire his attitude. He's got that infectious personality.
Dude, the typewriter, the word processor they give Alexander York, like the screen is like this big. You can get one line of text on it. Not a computer. Oh, hell yeah, you guys, Bam Dog, you guys brought all those thumbtacks, right? There we go, Ranger Ross with the victory.
I guess that's why you're the voice of professional wrestling. You call that one, Jimbo.
Jimbo.
Yes, we will be back with Dr. Death, but right now let's hear.
Oh, Jim Ross's boners.
Really unbelievable for the Stinger because number one, I win the tournament. I can't believe all the competition. I still came out on top. Number two, I get put into one of the most elite groups in professional wrestling, the Four Horsemen. I never thought I'd see the day. And now, last but not least, I get the chance to wrestle the world champion.
I thought he was going to say, last but not least, they shrunk me down to the size of a golden ticket.
Horsemen. They've made me a horseman. There's going to be no qualms with all of us. It's just going to be one heck of a match. And if I win,
I thought that backdrop for the interviews was kind of underrated, but also felt wrong at the same time.
From Jacksonville, Florida.
That's sick, Bam Dog. That's awesome.
Rick Fargo.
Rick Fargo.
And introducing his opponent, making his way.
He's still alive. I'm sure I know where he was January 6th.
From the University of Oklahoma, Dr. Death, Steve Williams.
There we go. Dak. With a... I'm glad they put Doc's hair on that skeleton so we would know what it was.
And he's also training with Ric Flair every day. As I mentioned, it seems
is he the shoot son of Jackie Fargo?
And Rick Fargo trying to seize the moment here on Dr. Death. Perhaps he feels the only way he can beat Dr. Death is to take the early advantage. He landed right on his feet like a big cat.
He made a big mistake there.
Oh!
Oklahoma could have used him this year on the gridiron.
Are there human beings anymore that are built like Dr. Death? Like, I know there are big people, and people in general are big.
Dr. Death.
Oh gosh.
Well, he better Doc tried to slam him.
But I don't feel like people are built like that anymore.
Not stop until he slams him. He's going to press slam him if he has to.
That's insane.
That's what I'm saying.
That he's bench pressing, just like he's a weight bar. Cassidy, I'm just gonna assume every one of these guys trained you. Like everybody came over George South's, barn. Strowman, I kinda, but he's like tall, so like the thickness doesn't stand out as much. Like, Doc is chesty, but not booby.
That he needed leadership. When you were managing, not advocating that you become his manager or anything like that. I don't think that probably would be the best thing for Doc.
Like, he's just talking, and he's that loud. Not really yelling, but he's so loud that he's louder than all the other people around him. Oh my gosh. Like, I think we can agree Rick Fargo was peeing blood after this.
Well, I heard that one time Barry Switzer said that
Dr. Death, I think he's kind of getting his just due now because, like, all of his shit looked cool as gifts.
That means that all you have to do is lay out a game plan for
So like every once, like every few weeks, I'll see like a Dr. Death thing blow up on social media.
I don't know. I've never seen the Doc fly. It looks like he's added something to his
Oh my gosh! Imagine Doc being like, okay, top rope body press. Me? No, me. He was supposed to beat Luger at WrestleWar. That would have been interesting. Luger was good at this point, so that would have been a good match.
Now there's the strength. He missed a move, but he made up for it. He's caught right here, and Fargo is stampeded.
I love how the running power slam is the least deadly looking of all the moves he did. Optimum Vision throwing out the heat. Unpopular opinion, Scott Norton was way better than Williams. I think I understand what you're saying.
This is a patented Dr. Death Oklahoma Stampede. Look at the
I think psychology-wise, yes. Because the idea of a guy that big making as much movement as Doc did, I think just visually it made more sense for Norton to just stay steady. And I love Scott Norton. I made a video about Scott Norton. I do think Doc's a little bit better. But I'm not gonna. Yeah, how do you bounce off of a turnbuckle?
Conspiracy abounds in the NWA. It has a rotten stench I can smell from miles away, and it comes from the NWA Board of Governors. They have granted
the Board of Governors,
Mr. Most Popular, a shot at Ric Flair, the World Heavyweight Champion.
I love Lex because he would always pick an idea like the executive committee. Like, how do I add fancier words to it?
There's none better than the total package Lex Luger. I'm the man in this sport. The conspiracy goes like this. They do not want Lex Luger to get his hands on the World Heavyweight title because they know that he will never relinquish it. They want Most Popular. They want
hey, Timko, thank you so much.
They don't want.
It's very kind of you to say.
Lex Luger to get what it is destiny to get, and that is the World Heavyweight title. Well, it goes like this. Ric Flair, come that time, you still have to be World's Heavyweight Champion.
Luis, do I think with DDP Yoga will Luger walk again? I hope so. And make that bigger. Bostic. D Bostic, thank you so much for the follow, my dude. Or Miguel, or my person who does not follow the gender binary. The shout word and choose Brando. That's right. Like Luger cut promos, like his mouth. Like he had to like really force it open, you know? Also, what a sweet robe that Lee just stopped wearing after a while. And I understand it. When you look like that, you don't need a robe. Your body is your robe. That is a sweet robe.
The key to the puzzle. This is the missing piece, Jim. I went out on the limb.
There are plenty of actual good Luger matches. Luger Steamboat at the Great American Bash. Luger Pullman at Halloween Havoc. Sting and Luger versus the Steiners from Super Brawl. Luger had a good run in like 96, 97.
Warning, take a look at those eyes. He's unshaved, he's disarranged, and
Luger and Wyndham had a couple good ones.
Somebody is not going to.
That robe did make it into the glute run, that's right.
This gentleman right here, our United States champion, will make it.
Fans, if you just joined us, what we're talking about on the 25th. It's February 25th.
Exactly. Lex was the only time he wasn't good was that period where he was just the total package, and he just got so big that he couldn't move. You know.
A championship match on February 25th. Right now, it will be, of course, it happened today against Ric Flair. But Flair is deeply involved with Lex Luger. Could it be Lex Luger Sting will be facing on February 25th? Luger has covered his bets. He said he will be in the match. It may not be Flair and it may not be Sting, but he will be in the match. We have to keep our eye from now, from January 13th until February the 25th. Our eyes have to be squarely on.
I love that wrestling is a sport where you can believably make Pat Rose look like he is some sort of competition for Lex. Hey, LJH, welcome.
Does Luger have something up his sleeve that day, or is he going to try something? See, his hometown When I say his hometown, it's his town is Baltimore.
By the way, again, shout out to everybody on Twitter and TikTok. If you're able to, I'd love to have you jump over to Twitch. Especially the folks on TikTok. Jump over to Twitch, because I can't see your comments. Because Restream and TikTok don't match up super well.
Lex Luger, the U.S. champion. You're right, Kevin Sullivan. It's just a matter of time, and only time will tell.
And I also got I found a way to get like a more accurate read of Twitter numbers.
This guy is one tough son of a gun.
And I'm still doing really well.
February the 6th will be in Corpus Christi, and
Luga. Love you. Luga. Luger 91 as like the Flair replacement with Harley Race is super underrated. I'm with you, guys.
Big cage match there. Flair, Sting, and
like he had a good match with Ron at Halloween Havoc. Even the Rick Steiner match at that Clash was pretty fun. And just he leaned into the arrogance. Pat Rose looks like the manager of a Jiffy Lube that's always trying to upsell you needless stuff, says Kyle. Love it.
Short center of gravity got down low and cradling, and Luger right back up and Rose down low again with the arm drag.
And I'm going to say something right here. Luger is not focusing on this match. His mind's someplace else.
I would say Pat Rose also probably not on the gas at this point. Goes to Brute Furnace, just a guess. Pat Rose, I like Pat Rose's boots. The weird quasi-cowboy boots that some guys had in this era. They're pretty sweet.
He's going to do something to somebody, like I said, because if it ends up being
Yellow Trunks Luger, I think Yellow Trunks Luger is the second best look for Luger other than the black trunks. Pat Rose looks like he has gas, or he huffed gas.
Lex Luger. Man, he is all man, I can tell you that. Fans, we'll be back with more.
Now I just want like Lex Luger on Men on Film from In Living Color.
Look out, TBS. Flyin Brian has found a
Look at Thompson.
And Freebirds, you better look out. You rested on your laurels. You were the team in the 80s. Well, it's the 90s now.
That's right. Flyin' Brian, we're in town. Right. Glad to be on TBS.
Seeing things. Anybody else seeing these flying purple monkeys?
Flyin' Brian and the Z-Man himself. And listen, Freebirds, you guys, it's all over but the crying for you. Because we got a great team, I got a great partner, and we're going to take it to you, Freebirds. It's all over. 1990 is the new year, and we're not looking back.
That's awesome. I love that George South still has those boots. More guys need those boots. But yeah, clearly Tom Zink like thwarts a line and then comes up shit. They said go, and yeah, they were clearly naked. Randy Harris. Oh, I'm a big fan of this guy. Randy Harris is clearly like the tough guy at the indie fed that he works for on the weekends because he's got the fingerless gloves. He's like the bodyguard. He's the heater for the champion. Oh my god, that guy in the front row that looks like Necro Butcher. So many good people in this segment. Yeah. I love that that's the part of the song that kept in the Z-Man's like generic produced song. You met Italian Stalin? Was Mad Maxine with them, Timko?
No, it's not going to be easy, but like you said, last week they were spectacular. But I'm going to say one thing. The Freebirds changed. Oh, what a move.
Whoa! I think Zig's still a little zoned. Oh my god. Randy Harris or whatever that guy's name is.
Jim, the Freebirds, they did wrestling in the 80s. They changed.
There are seats in the front row at this free TV taping that are empty. Yeah, I love that whenever we have a wrestler in this era who's not from America, they just have the name of their country on their butt in plain font.
He certainly is, Jim. And great teamwork.
I think there are more wrestlers than people in the building. Hey, basketball adults.
With that great amateur background, rolled off those shoulders and got off the shoulders, more importantly for him, to prevent the tag.
Look at these. They're very different mullets, but both very good mullets. More wrestlers should be named after actor nicknames. That's right, the Italian Stallion, Sylvester Stallone.
There he is, big high cross body. Good strength by the Stallion to kick him off there, or push him off. Good bench press strength. Z-Man up again. My gosh, you can't get him in the corner. He is elusive.
Good thing Italian Stallion stood there, unlike Brian Lane.
Right out to the center of the ring.
Z-Man was 32, Pillman was 28.
Great athletic abilities.
That's just how many women they slept with that week. Oh God, here we go. I'm sure this guy like had done a week of training with Stallion, and he's like, just get in the car.
Stand tall with Flyin Brian. If he does that and they're successful, there's no limits to where they can go as a tag team.
I bet he does a heart punch as his finisher on the Indies.
Let me put this to you. These kids are looking fantastic.
claw.
Every move they do, it's timed, it's precision.
Oh, awesome! Tell Bender that I miss him.
But what I want to get
I sent my best also. Tell Bender I said hello, John.
Can they take Michael Hayes giving that famous left? Can they take it?
Herbie the Z-Man Wednesday. Oh no.
Can they take one of those left foots by Jimmy?
Oh, sweet! When guys get high enough on the drop kick that they could land in the lateral press, one of my favorite wrestling moves. Randy Harris is just off of his shift at Jiffy Lube and is heading to the strip club for the special Salisbury steak dinner.
For the U.S. title. It's all to prove. That kid's got it to do. Nobody can do it for him.
Or one of these jobbers who's successful outside the wrestling. I'm sure plenty of them are.
I think he will do.
Plenty of them.
He and Flyin Brian seem to have chemistry.
And then you have guys like Randy Harris who...
I don't think it's just surprised you, Jim. I think it surprised a lot of people. I didn't think this chemistry could work because they both think they're pretty
basketball
good.
adult. He has a glove. It's definitely loaded. I think he's definitely loaded.
He's as comfortable on top rope as he is walking around there in the blue canvas.
This Pillman has made giant steps forward. He'll be knocking on the World Championship door before 1990s.
Sullivan realizes that Flair has a hard-on for Pillman. There's like, shit, if I put over Pillman, it's safe.
Good move indeed. I talked to Kim Wood, the strength coach of the Cincinnati Bengals.
Again, why is this match resetting? Just do your moves and go to the finish. Like, we don't have to make Italian Stallion and Randy Harris look good. What was that? That was the backyarder thing where you jump when you do a strike.
That's a great kick. Now, that's what I'm saying about this.
Italian Stallion probably could sell you some insurance on a used car today. He probably lives in a used car. With Mad Maxine and Super Mario.
I'm not disagreeing with you. All I want to see is, I want to see if these...
Double drop kick. I mean, the fucking Rock and Roll Express were 3 matches before. Brian says, if I recall correctly, Gorgeous Gary Young manages a Chili's in Little Rock, Arkansas, which may be the nicest restaurant in town. Definitely the coolest. There we go. Yes, thank you for reminding me, Yankee Hawk. R.I.P. Black Bart. An all-time great. We've seen him on here before. Big Train Bart. Yeah, I love they just completely shit on the Rock and Roll Express. Like, yeah, you know that thing you guys have been winning like 94 world titles with? It's just like one of our moves. You know, Randy Harrison would kick out of it. Oh shit, that's right, this is this show, I forgot. This rules. So the story was that Cactus Jack had been turning on, he'd been teaming with enhancement guys, losing and then turning on them. Because, because they didn't have hiring power, the bookers didn't. They didn't have the budget to hire anybody new, but they figured they'd have to force Jim Herd's hand if this guy kept doing enhancement matches and like getting over doing the same thing. They were right. So we have the 2 craziest bumpers in wrestling going at it. Oh yeah, I'm sure Ricky Morton was like, motherfucker, motherfucking zinc. Randy Harris wrestled until 2018.
59 pounds, Cactus Jack Manson. And his opponent at
that rules. Yes, Jeff Hart. Yes, I remember Jeff Hart very much so. There we go, Lee Scott on fire here. I think Lee Scott got to cut a promo the week before. Lee Scott, if you've never seen him, was a crazy man. Like, he was such an... His bumps were so good. that he would get put over on TV every week.
This kid got some
Like,
guts, and I'd like to see him
they would talk about how
beat
crazy he
Manson
was.
for a while, because Manson likes to get beat up, and Manson.
Like Lee Scott, if he came around now, it would be such a big deal.
Lee Scott went for a high-risk move there. The high cross body. Cactus Jack dropped out of sight there.
Jack with the sweet denim vest. I'm surprised it's not leather. Totally loved a leather back
Talking
then.
about Picasso and how when he was through his early periods, how they changed.
And he lost his ear. Or was that somebody else?
That was Vincent Van Gogh.
No, that was him 4 years later,
I
Jay.
didn't go to humanities class that day. I went to the student union and played cards. I want to tell you something. Lee Scott has been.
I'd love to know what Jim Ross learned from humanities class. Lee Scott was totally 15 years before his time. I found him on Instagram a couple weeks ago. Lee Scott, still hanging in there. Hardcore juggalo.
Indeed, we'll take that licking and keep on ticking.
He's the George Chuvalo of professional wrestling.
Well, I'll tell you something. Cactus Jack.
The guy who reminds me of Lee Scott now is Alec Price. He's a pretty big name indie wrestler right now, but he did a couple AEW squashes. He did a Ring of Honor match with Brian Cage and just took like 4 or 5 of the craziest bumps you'll ever see. He's kind of built like Lee Scott too.
He's got great desire, but Cactus Jack has got.
I remember Jeff Hart. I think it was supposed to be Jeff Hart and Janela maybe at the WrestleCon Super Show. No, they did the match at $5 Wrestling at the CWF.
All we converse usually is on paintings,
If that's that's right.
wine, and different things like that, and books. With Cactus Jack.
Yeah, Jeff Hart is so funny. Canadian hit. Jeff.
You mean what I'm trying to say is
They are, because they're trying to get Jack higher.
I'm sure that he could. I mean, he falls into a large category here.
Yeah, Alec Price is really good. Like, I mean it as a compliment when I say he's like the new Lee Scott. Like his indie matches are good. His AEW squash matches blow my fucking mind.
Sullivan's alluding to Friday night, January 26th, 8 o'clock right here in the Omni, with tickets on sale now at all Seats locations and the Omni box office. Lee Scott back out. Look at that face.
Nick Jack just said, "Oh shit," into the camera.
Understood men in professional wrestling today.
My dentist, Dr. Glenn Crooks, would like to see Cactus Jack there. He's got some missing front teeth. He didn't get them for Christmas, I don't guess. Rams that knee right into the lower abdomen there.
You know, it does my body good to watch a guy really.
It does my body good?
Really good.
Kind of like that warm feeling you get a
Is he like getting a little chubby?
Same thing when I don't give anybody any presents.
Cactus Jack dropped the leg around the lower abdomen area.
Yeah, the Cactus had worked in Texas before this,
I guess you could say
and that had been on national TV. Love you too, Nick Manimal. Hello.
When was Lee Scott's
Glad to see you.
main event on World Championship
Glad to see you do my body good.
January 13th,
Shout out to Nick. Nick is working the GCW Hammerstein show this week. Very proud of Nick. Love him very much. Known Nick forever and a day since we were children. Yeah, I'm very proud of Nick. He's going to be working. He's going to be doing commentary on the GCW Hammerstein show. He will not be getting in the ring. To the best of my knowledge. I don't know if they're doing another one of those battle royals.
Cactus Jack, he's 1 in a million. He's 1 in a million. He's a classic wrestler.
But his one-loss record is horrendous. Now he's beaten a lot of people up. Don't get me wrong, he has beaten a lot of people up since he's been in the NWA.
Love you, Nicky.
But his one-loss record is.
Oh, he's gonna do the elbow. Nope, clothesline. I love that Jack takes a silly bomb, but also the camera pans away and Lee Scott falls on his head.
He puts his own body in jeopardy, Kevin.
Jim, he's not going to live to be an old man. You're right about this. Cactus Jack has burnt the candles at both ends and in the middle.
Cactus Jack's about 50% Peg Bundy this week. For those of you new to watching, every time we see Mick Foley on one of these streams, I feel the need to comment on how much he's ripped off Peg Bundy's. Like, those are straight up leggings. I'm pretty sure she wore multiple times.
Now wait a minute, let's keep it right here for just a moment. Cactus Jack just rammed his head into the metal railing.
Yeah, let's start the rumor that Nick's going to be wrestling Matt Cardona.
Backbreaker. Lee Scott's there on the concrete. Now watch Manson. If he's traditional here, he'll come right down the apron.
I'm so happy they dropped the Manson.
I can't believe
That's enough.
It never sounded quite right.
I love it. I love it.
All right, Hacksaw Higgins. They don't build him like Hacksaw Higgins anymore.
At 292 pounds, Hacksaw Higgins.
Like when the enhancement guys look like that.
Representing the Four Horsemen, the new
I'm not surprised, because that's something Mick would do. I was doing commentary on a show, and it was at the Galley building in Villa Park, and they have the strip, not the strip mall, the flea market out front. And JJ Garrett forgot his gear, so he just went up and bought leggings. Somebody in one of the booths for like $10.
What a victory over the great Muta. We saw it on the Power Hour.
You can tell that belt's brand new. It is shiny.
He certainly is. I've been in the ring with Arn Anderson on numerous occasions. This man, technically,
They just got that.
is the best technician next to Ric Flair in the wrestling business today.
You know, he's made a comment around the wrestling business that he specializes in big guys.
He certainly does. And
Specializes in big guys.
Hacksaw Higgins. Let me tell you something.
That's the first line in the bio of his
I think he
OnlyFans.
just made a big mistake, this Hacksaw Higgins.
Nick Patrick, get your eyeballs in your head. You're not the one supposed to get over here.
Extend Dr. Dusty Williams here last week.
There's a Hacksaw Higgins Steve Williams match from around this time. It's a lot of fun.
Then I weigh my desired weight of 175, which I haven't weighed since the 9th grade.
Well, you're only 177.
Yeah, I wish.
Yeah, that TV title belt. I'm so upset that I never saw the Steve Austin figure that came with that belt in stores.
I'll tell you something. I have mentioned it before.
I'm in Central Indiana, but I used to do commentary for a group. It was called Underground then, and then it became Freelance Underground. But they rented the 5-star swap meets. Oh my gosh! Okay, that ended safely. But then they rented the 5-star swap meets in Villa Park. No longer. I think nobody runs there.
He doesn't have the physique, we'll say, of a Lex Luger or of Brian Pillman. Who does? He has unusually strong tendons.
I'm trying to figure out what the hell those are on Higgins' tights. Like dragons or roses or...
This is what makes the Four Horsemen.
Yeah, Arn's hair's looking better than normal. In that there's more of it there than usual.
And the thing that's amazing, Jim, it doesn't matter. What I want to know now is...
Arn is 32 years old.
Is he training with Rick? Is he training with Sting?
Looking like he just came back from a prostate exam. Tugboat? They might be tugboats. That would make sense.
They're in a non-losing situation.
They were some kind of boats.
No matter if Flair retains it or if Sting wins.
Hacksaw Higgins is the most Samoan-ass looking white dude I've ever seen.
The missing part of the puzzle, unless Luger can stop Flair before the 25th.
The Andersons, great tag team tradition established here in the NWA. The patriarch of the team, Gene Anderson. The Rock, Ole Anderson, World Tag Team champions.
Like if Terry Gordy,
I was remiss in mentioning that the
like if Terry Gordy's mom drunk a little more booze when he was in the womb, he'd be Hacksaw Higgins.
Why did you leave out the Briscoes, fellow Oklahomans? Well, it was inadvertent. I'm getting older.
Stop, Rick. Fuck you, Nick Patrick.
You know,
yeah, Hacksaw Higgins is great. Telling you, Hacksaw Higgins, Steve Williams. That's a match you gotta check out. It's like 2 minutes long, but it's just them doing, it's just them going like this over and over again. Like one of those Brock Goldberg matches.
And again, I asked you, how much does that mean? And you said to me in professional football, it's 3.5 points.
That's right.
I always love that little kick Arn would do before he would do that first stop.
He's kicking big at Hacksaw Higgins.
Gotta pop my knee.
On the chest with a flat of the foot. Yes, that's a legal maneuver.
They might be stars.
Son of a gun. I'll tell you that right now. Fans, I gotta say hi to
I cannot get over it. Not just the empty seats, but that they're bright red, so you can't not see them.
North Carolina Fieldhouse this Friday night, the NWA in Norfolk, Virginia at the Scope.
Arn is no longer with AEW now. He's been gone there for a few months. Hacksaw Higgins definitely spent his Friday nights fighting for beer at a Macon, Georgia trailer park. Of course. I can see that he's definitely got Kenny Omega hair. Sure, John. There are stars on the side of his legs. I see what you mean there. Along his waistband. There's like these little like red things. Yeah, I see the stars on down the leg. If they show his like crotch again.
Has anybody made
you kind of see him there.
NWA like Arn Anderson has in a few short weeks he's been back?
Kenny Fatu. Imagine if he did like the Jacob Fatu wiggle thing.
As we take a look at big Hacksaw Higgins, who obviously doesn't admire him at all. I know he respects him. Arn Anderson won the television.
He just did the freaking Dolph Ziggler headstand thing.
I know you saw it. He challenged him.
Not,
Friday
oh my gosh.
Anderson jumps in the frying pan
He's
into the fire.
Size of a house.
We've all used, and he really did because he accepted. But Mad Dog Buzz Sawyer's challenge for this Friday night on the Power Hour. So my
bringing up Buzz Sawyer. Imagine Hacksaw Higgins and Buzz Sawyer as a team.
I have wrestled Buzz Sawyer on many occasions.
People might have died for real.
Buzz Sawyer, it takes you 2 days to get out of bed. And believe me, it's the same way with
Nick Patrick is taking the long way around every time they go down, so he gets all the camera time.
Big Hacksaw Higgins. Now he's leaning on him right here.
Also,
so
he's
Arn Anderson's
Nick Patrick's like what 30 something here? Not like he's Bronco Lubitsch. Go down with the chin lock, buddy.
Well placed on the shoulders.
Like that one really old referee from the World Sport tape. Oh what nah!
If the chest can't expand, you can't bring that oxygen in. It's that simple. It's very elementary.
It's
very elementary.
I want to ask you something, Jim. I'm looking forward to Corpus Christi to see Mil Mascaras. I've never seen him in person, and I've heard about him for years. I know he's a legend throughout all the Mexican-speaking countries, and they say he
all the Mexican-speaking countries. Yeah, he's from Boston.
South of the border. He will be his first appearance with the NWA in quite some time. The Clash of Champions live here on TBS. Here it is.
Yeah, I kind of like that. Every once in a while, you got to do a DDT that's not so much out of nowhere. It's just shit, his head's open. I got to get it.
And he did it.
Arn Anderson.
He's going to be the TV champion.
That was a fun match. Look at that guy in the back row.
While we hopefully will take another look.
I hit my head.
Well, he sets it up, Jim, and nobody does it.
I think I just gave myself a concussion.
Looks around, gives the signal. DDT's the big man. Hacksaw Higgins.
Also, Hacksaw Higgins took a hell of a
DDT. Another win for Arn Anderson, the new
being
TV
like
champion.
so big.
Ladies and gentlemen, made the announcement that
oh, hey, Goldie's not wearing suspenders.
NWA on Sunday night, February 25th in Greensboro, Wrestle War 90, the Wild Thing. Sting will wrestle the heavyweight champion of the world. If it's Nature Boy Ric Flair,
you think any of these guys ever like put their like shoe cups
but you guys are training
back inside that
Is this
logo?
a conflict of interest whatsoever?
No conflict whatsoever. The bottom line is, I use that expression many times, Sting is one of the greatest athletes in professional wrestling today. He deserves a title shot, and if I'm the world champion on the 25th of February in
hello, Salmon X2. Thank you so much for the follow.
He has proved to the world
I gotta make that thing a little bigger so I can
this
see.
kind of guy. And the bottom line once again is, some may come and some may go, but this is the symbol of the 90s. And Sting,
the
you're a
90s.
respected man, you've been my friend, pal. If it's you and I on the 25th, we're going to tear the joint down.
Well, in my opinion, Rick, I think it is going to be you. But to be honest with you, when you
What
start
was that?
saying Sting's got to walk
With
that
butter on his
aisle,
hands.
it makes my heart go ba-boom, 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 just like it was about 2 years ago.
I don't
But
like
this time I know
Sting
there's
just
no
having the
problem
outline.
because,
Kind of
to be
creeps
honest
me
with you,
out.
I said, Rick, we don't have to do it like this. And before I could finish my sentence, both the Andersons and Rick said, no way, Sting. You don't have to worry about a thing because everything is cool. And besides that, we want to keep this world title.
Wasn't the storyline that Sting didn't want to give up the
Sting
spot, and they told him to? I don't understand wrestling ever.
And it feels kind of good, to be honest with you. It's a family tradition.
I don't think Sting was ever supposed to quote fit in the Horsemen. I think it was just like a short-term destination thing to get to this match that they're hyping up.
Only champions are Horsemen, right, Arn?
No matter who wins the match, the bottom line is we're all family.
Hey, Mitch
and
Pump.
you've earned it, pal.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, the 4 Horsemen have made their statement, and we'll make
Like, Arn just standing there, covered in sweat, huffing and huffing. That puts over Hacksaw Higgins way more than a win would. Yeah, it looks like he was just interrupted. Oh shit, we have to do promo? Oh. How long did this go for before the turn? It was early February was that clash. So just a couple more weeks. Arn is 32 years old, believe it or not. Wow, wow.
Introducing first at 210
Ricky Nelson.
From Charlotte, North Carolina, Ricky Nelson. And
Well, I love a good twist on a trope. Normally the announcement is like, yeah.
From Bad Street, USA.
Rick Nelson's double fists.
It's Michael.
Oh gosh, he looks so creepy with the light behind him.
Michael Hayes of the Freebirds.
Michael Hayes, I believe, was in his 20s.
NWA main event, 6:05 Eastern Time. In addition to Sting and the Dragon Masters confrontation, the big rematch, it will be the Rock and Roll.
Yeah, it was that clash. That's right. Yeah, Cassidy. I think it was like the first Tuesday or Wednesday of February. Was that clash? Where the Horsemen turn heel, but still have to work babyface against the J-Tex Corporation in the main event. But then Sting runs out at the end and blows out his knee. Yeah, speaking of cocaine, here's Michael Hayes.
The Hawks, the atmosphere at the Hawks, and we want all the fans in Atlanta to support the Atlanta Hawks, man, with Dominique. Look at Mike.
Who the fuck was that guy?
Michael there, interesting situation.
I've been watching wrestling like my whole life, and who the fuck was that guy?
Made a comment about wrestling the Rock and Roll Express tomorrow, and I think
do I prefer Buddy or Jimmy? Buddy. Jimmy's funny, but Jimmy also had that period where he decided he was Road Warrior jailbait or whatever. He wasn't jailbait.
And that is
you know
this Sunday night, 6:05, the Freebirds. And
Michael Hayes has Fantasia written on his ass and come.
It's great atmosphere. I've grown to know it.
Michael Hayes was 31 years old.
Big fan of the NWA.
Holy shit, wrestling aged you.
But the atmosphere.
Yeah, Michael Hayes looks like he hasn't slept or showered in at least 4 days. There's that Logan Paul interview that Paul Heyman did today where he's like, yeah, you know, in order to look real disheveled for that bloodline angle, I just ate like shit and didn't shower, washed my hair for like a week. I'm thinking during it. Dude, Michael Hayes did that all the time. That's just because he's Michael Hayes. He never looked sad.
That belt's gonna stay
Looked
in the family.
creepy.
And I found something very, very unique.
Yeah, I gotta wonder what Michael Hayes' deal is.
It was interesting.
Like, I know he does all the Roman stuff.
A lot of questions remain to be answered. I've got some. I found
Very smart politically.
about tonight. Late night with Jim Ross on the wrestling hotline.
Jimmy Jam seemed like, oh my gosh, like the Freebirds one, they would shoot him out of like a time warp. Like the entrance was like a time tunnel, and he'd be shot out of another, like out of like 5 years earlier, and he'd be like, oh fuck, I gotta wrestle in 1991. What?
You know, there's something about Michael.
Every time.
Has a devastating
There was a couple racial things with him, and there's an alleged thing with him and Bobby Lashley, but nobody's really ever spoken about it specifically because of NDAs. And then there was the Mark Henry thing at Triple H's wedding. But hey, you got a good punch.
It's that left hand, Jim. See, Michael is our
Yeah, in hindsight, like, yeah, the Birds were fun. Eric Feud's great.
And he works from that side.
But they lose a lot without Gordy.
He can stop anybody.
Yeah, we've talked about Ricky Nelson before, about how he like promoted China like during the Attitude Era,
It should be exciting.
which is insane.
Great teams. Everybody's familiar with. Get it on tomorrow on the main event.
Also, why isn't this match? You do the punch, you do the DDT.
We saw Arn Anderson's version of the DDT, and there's Michael Hayes, Ricky Nelson. Has anybody seen Ozzy? Because Ricky's coming home.
That's our thing, Jim. We're supposed to be making fun of the guys, not you.
Michael Hayes with a victory. And tomorrow on the main event, it will be the Freebirds and the Rock and Roll Express. And here it is, Kevin.
He sets it up. Nobody does it any better.
The DDT for the back-to-back finishes.
There it is.
We have 2 double drop kicks.
And that's all it wrote for Ricky Nelson.
And we'll be back with the Midnight Express.
I'm sure the agent was Grizzly Smith. There were just too many kids in the crowd. Wow, wow. Rhubarb Jones again with that audio pack.
From Delray Beach, California, at 210 pounds.
Gene Ligon. This is. I've seen Gene Ligon wrestle a lot.
235 pounds. It's Gene Ligon.
Sean Regal looks like a lot of people at the bar were like, you kind of look like them rock and roll guys on wrestling. He's like, yeah, I should be a wrestler. Midnight Express with their trans rights robes. Bobby appears to be wearing gloves. Single glove for old Bobby. That's Gene Ligon, the pride of the NAWA. The guy who was an enhancement wrestler one episode and the color commentator the next. I saw Gene Ligon. I've been watching some old prime times from 1989, and Gene Ligon pops up on there too. Again, who the fuck is this weird guy in the yellow?
But right here, Bobby Eaton and Stan Lane are probably
they each have one
glove. In the NWA.
Why?
That means they know each other's moves before the other does it, practically. And I want to tell you something. I have my problems with Cornette's philosophy at times. But he is a great strategist. He is a great motivator, and he has been one of the most successful managers in the history of the sport. Now, don't tell him I said that because he won't believe you.
Sweet Stan.
Over here, and we'll be hearing his comments whether we want to or not.
I like him more than most. I'm with you, Cassidy. I think he's a victim of being
Rock and Roll Express and the Freebirds. Matter of fact, I'm going to ask James.
The guy who replaced the guy in one of the best tag teams of all time. He was more TV friendly than Dennis. He updated the team for modern times. Why the fuck are we running spots with Nick Patrick?
I'm trying to enlighten you. All right. Tomorrow on the main event, the Rock and Roll Express.
Even if Dennis hadn't have left,
many times, especially the Rock and Roll Express, would you
going with a younger, slicker, hotter dude was probably the best move for keeping the Midnights fresh.
Shorter than Roberto Duran?
Shorter than Roberto Duran, and they don't even speak Spanish. At least I don't think Morton does. I don't know what.
Like, I like Dennis Condrey a lot. I think he's a lot of fun.
Then we're going to, because I've said it.
I think as a quote workhor, whatever term you want to use, bell to bell, I think Dennis Condrey blows Stan out of the water. But Stan's really fucking good, and Stan had a great playbook to walk into.
Bobby's not happy because, you know, we got these dynamic dudes are still on our trail, still trying to cry and beg and plead to the promoters, as Kevin Sullivan knows they do so well, trying to get an advantage in the contracts. Plus, we got the Rock and Roll Express back in the NWA.
Exactly, Brian. Stan Lane was such a stud that we all convinced ourselves that he was the father of a shitty congressman.
They have been together longer than any team in the NWA.
Yeah, Condrey was a flick, but who the fuck wasn't back then? So many guys were flakes. Buddy Landell is one of my favorite wrestlers of all time, and he was maybe the least responsible human being alive.
What was her main purpose, you know?
I don't know. I was trying to talk to Flair.
Good note, Jonathan. Yeah, at least Nick Patrick here's wearing black shoes, trying to blend in. A few years later, he's like, "Hey, here's my big clown shoes with yellow rose."
Following his movements around, she's got something to gain by owning the Horsemen. Obviously, the most elite group in wrestling. I think that's what is on woman's mind.
Talking about why Buddy left in '91, or why
No. What we're doing is
why Stan and Cornette left. Stan and Cornette left because
gets into a sense of false
They're getting
security.
jerked around by old Jimmy Herd.
That's how we beat the punks like the dynamic dudes, because they're not smart enough to deal with strategy like that. That's how we got rid of the Rock and Roll Express, regardless of what that little peacock Ricky Morton says. It was a long...
You can't compare most pro wrestlers to Bobby Eaton in terms of responsibility. Bobby Eaton was a fucking saint. Bobby Eaton would buy everything at the gas station so that nobody went without anything in the locker room. Also, this rules. He would show up to the locker. Hey, anybody need tape? Anybody need a razor? Oh, Stan. Why Stan left? Yeah. Stan and Cornette left because Jim Herd wanted to break them up. Hey, Liz Alvarado, thank you so much for the follow. Yeah, Jim Herd wanted to cut Cornette's contract, and he wanted to break up the Midnights. Like, there was always a push to put one of the two in the Horsemen. The new Midnight Express in the WWF were Bob Holly and Bart Gunn. Bobby Eaton in this era was good for like doing a move you would not expect Bobby to do in a very dangerous, not dangerous, but like a bulldog on a floor. Or like that Reno Riggins match where he just fucking plows him in the back of the head. Doing the handspring. How many women do you think Stan showed off like his karate purple belt to? Like he'd bring him back to the apartment. Oh gosh. Be like, look at what I earned. I got my new stripe right there. Cassidy with the Bobby Eaton anecdote. Bobby was like the biggest mark for new snacks. Anytime you were on the road with him and he came back to the car from the store, he would buy anything new that he hadn't seen before and make us all try it. I am so sad Bobby Eaton was not around on this earth to do TikTok. Bobby Eaton doing snack reviews on YouTube or doing weird shit with food on TikTok. Be a star.
Is Lex Luger.
Dan Lane was a black belt in no pants karate.
What a beautiful move.
Great team move there, it is.
Another move that we invented and perfected were the innovators in tag team wrestling.
That NWA ankle was awful because the WWF was trying to bury it. Like the point of the angle was to make Jim Cornette look like a goofball. Bobby Eaton snacks. That's why we pay you the big bucks, Tom. Bobby Eaton snacks. Would have been such a good YouTube series. Yes, Bobby Eaton the pussy. Shout out to Bobby Eaton the pussy. We miss you.
Well, I kind of feel like I've been arrested here with Jim Cornette, and maybe we'll
feel like I've been
words
arrested
in right after we come back here, ladies and gentlemen, on World Championship Wrestling.
We were talking about Teddy Long earlier. Teddy Long was with the Skyscrapers. Oh my gosh. Look at Mark Calloway's hair.
At 220 pounds,
that is a mullet that outgrew its coverage. Oh, Rick Ryder.
His partner at 230 pounds from
and
Tennessee,
old Larry Santo with the jacket that's way too good for him. And I love Larry Santo.
Making their way into the ring area.
Here we go.
Presents from Metropolis, Mean Mark
From Metropolis.
and Dangerous Dan Spivey,
Is he
the
right?
new Skyscrapers.
Bobby was so against the internet. And we did that tribute show from 2019. The gimmick was don't tell Bobby because he didn't have the internet. It was a huge surprise. Gotta scroll back up.
That's not right. Dangerous Dan Spivey, the real deal.
He thought he was our first signing, but the whole show was for him. I remember that. Like, I remember Regal and Taylor showed up, and I thought it was so cool. El Santo, that's right.
When the Road Warriors meet the Skyscrapers,
Rick Ryder looks like a 45-year-old Make-A-Wish kid. Previous Skyscrapers were Sid Vicious and old Danny Spivey.
to this day that Sting and Flair, if it makes it that far, the 25th will be the Alley Frazier.
Like, I can't get over. I've seen Rick Ryder wrestle before, but him wrestling like giants is very fun. Like, this looks like it shouldn't be legal. Like, people should be arrested for allowing this.
And he matches up quite well with Dangerous Dan. Last week,
Like, he's the size of a 9-year-old.
said that he had replaced Sid Vicious, and then Sid decided to get well and get healthy. He might have a job.
Well, I don't blame Teddy Long. If you're hurt and you can't play, you should just go sit in the sidelines.
Teddy Long's mustache is weird in that it has a second layer on the sides. Okay, it kind of almost, it's kind of like the twirly mustaches that old school people used to have from like the 20s, but it's not twirly, it's just thick right here. It's such a wild mustache. Dan Spivey, I like Dan Spivey. It sucks that Waylon Mercy happened when his body just fell apart.
I'd play Sid Vicious until he fell over. That's what I would have done.
Well,
That's very cool, Cassidy. You guys did a good thing, you and Sid.
on the convalescence of Big Sid Vicious, and he is out of the hospital.
I'm always in favor of doing shit for people while they're still here.
Maybe quite some time until he can come back.
Because,
Long said he'll have a job for him, maybe like he did Roman, waxing his car.
you know, memorial shows are great,
Stuff like that.
but it's nice if the person can hear you say all the nice things about them.
Former All-Southeast
You know?
Conference defensive end. One of the toughest guys ever to come out of Tampa, Florida, Big Dangerous Dan Spivey, all 6'8" of it. And mean
I cannot get
Martin
over
Callis.
Taker's hair.
Big red-headed 6'9" guy.
Holy shit.
He's got a lot of agility. The last week
There's a Waylon Mercy figure coming out. Is it a Mattel or is it one of the other
He is 6'9",
groups?
over 300 pounds. And look at this balance. Steps once, steps twice.
He broke the tape.
That is a phenomenal move. 6'9", well over 300. The
New school, yes.
are bad to the bone.
They are bad to the bone.
I think that guy would be ruling the
We have
roost.
to take another look at that if we can. And as you see right now, ladies and gentlemen,
The charter school.
makes his way
We all
up
had
to
to
the
pay
top.
for it.
He's there now, walking on that
Only
top
Teddy
rope,
Long
and
benefit.
Here he comes. Bean Marcella, 6'9", 320. The new Skyscrapers may be better than ever. All right, Kevin Sullivan certainly looks like the new Skyscrapers.
All right, Kevin, you definitely don't look like you just got back from court.
That's a lot to say because Sid Vicious is an awesome individual.
They're new and improved, and to me, they look a heck of a lot better.
Now, I want to talk about a couple of things that happened here today, but first of all, fans, remember that tomorrow, 6:05 on the main event, the Rock and Roll Express to meet the fabulous Freebirds.
Yeah, Terry Funk did have the right idea.
What's yours?
He just wanted to hear people say it was cool. That's why he retired so
I'll be
much.
there to watch it.
Also, fans, this Friday night on the Power Hour, this Friday
There's
night,
nothing wrong with that.
Arn
Terry
Anderson,
Funk's
the
the
new
best
television
wrestler who ever
championship,
lived.
collide with Mad Dog Buzz Sawyer.
Most physical matchup. What a way to start 1990. I'm going
What
to
a way
watch
to
it.
start.
Everybody across the country will watch it.
It
because
was a
somebody's
wicked
gonna get
good
beat up real
match.
bad.
And now, very quickly, the big announcement was made. The next pay-per-view for the NWA on Sunday night, February 25th.
But I want a recognition show for today. Like, I know it's kind of controversial because people are mad at him over how he left AEW.
Will it be Ric Flair?
God, I wish WWE would do
It's going to be
something.
the Celtics and Lakers. It will be the Red Sox against the Mets. It's going to be Allie Frazier. It's going to be Sugar Ray Leonard Duran. It's everything it's cracked up to be. The Four Horsemen can't lose. It's going to stay in the family.
Ladies and gentlemen,
Jim's like, how much fucking time do we have to
that
fill?
prediction. It's going to be a great weekend here on TBS.
But the Hassel Toys, okay.
With us here on World Championship
I thought maybe he could have had
at
a
the center stage. Don't forget to join
Mattel
us on the
deal because he
NWA main
like helps out
event
with their
Sunday night at
rehab,
6:05.
WWE's rehab.
For Kevin Sullivan, I'm Jim Ross. So long, everybody.
All right, we got a little bit more to go. We're gonna about a half hour of WCW main event from the night after. But before we do, we're back Sunday for Off the Grid, and here's what we'll be watching as we go back to Louisiana.
They're hot and wild, looking juicy. Come on, baby, come on down.
All right, we're jumping right back into main event, but on Sunday, Going back to Louisiana for the NWF last time we watched NWF last year, we got the legendary Buddy Landell promo where he got down on his knees and pantomimed what Ring Boys allegedly did to Terry Garvin and a number of officials. Who knows what we'll see Sunday? Lex Luger again, a lot more wet this time. Lex Luger's wrestling a guy who I assume has been told many times at like bars, hey, you kind of look like that wrestler Lex Luger. And then he gets the TV. It's like, fuck, that guy's huge. We'll get more Wrestle Birmingham in due time. I want to spread them out.
Nature Ric Flair, but whomever the champion may be, on February 25th, that's the man that Sting will wrestle.
I love this guy because he dyed his hair months ago. Hello, Steve-O Wrestler. Thank you so much. So much for the follow.
Collar and elbow tie up.
Somebody did not have fun there. Holy shit! 3:35 a.m. in Lisbon, Portugal. All of y'all that are tuning in from Europe, we have a number of you. Y'all are real ones. Acting like this is Wrestle Kingdom or something. Thank you all so much. Like, it really makes my heart swell, knowing that this is a good enough hang for you guys to ditch sleep for.
Quite a matchup.
Yeah, this dude dyed his hair like over the summer.
Has issued a challenge. He wants AA.
Bleached it, and then
nice arm drag by Mike Hart. And
just give Mike Hart. Is we talked about Jeff Hart earlier? Is this Jeff's like cousin?
Arm drags. Taking the 6'5", 275-pound United States.
Yeah, Jim Ross leaving WCW in 93 was rough for them. They lost part of their identity.
I know he has a rematch.
I agree with you, Commodore Rico, and I'm glad he's working with DDP.
And so it might be.
If he goes in the Hall of Fame this year and he walks, I will bawl like a fucking baby.
Something that could very, I don't want to say easily could happen.
I'm rooting for him. Lex rules.
I guess we could not be surprised. Luger is that awesome. Luger misses with the elbow, the clothesline. Misses again with the clothesline.
Yeah, WCW always did a good job of miking the ring.
Mike Hart, who shows that he is not
Liz Alvarado, which, when you're talking about the failed Jim Crockett promotion, are you talking about WWN? Or are you talking about, because we've watched NWA Dallas and Off the Grid before. WWE. There's fan cam stuff of it. And then the first episode that they taped at the Manhattan Center did air in Atlanta on that wrestling blog, Dying Days.
Luger with a big right hand now.
But I have not heard of anybody actually having it. I would love to see it, even in like shitty VHS quality, to see what the hell wrestling in like third gen high def it'll look like, because they allegedly filmed their stuff in high def.
Of Ric Flair. And Luger says he is a torture rack away from being the next world's champion. He says that he can beat Ric Flair. Without any shadow of a doubt, he is a better man.
Goes to Burt Prentice, says Mike Hart's the lost member of the Hart Foundation. He looks like a camp counselor that had to answer some uncomfortable questions during parents' day. Yeah. I love the people ringside, those old folks are like, this guy ain't so fucking tough, because he's laying at their feet.
Luger methodically walking over to Mike Hart, who may have folded his 10 here. Nope, he's fighting back. You gotta hand it to him. Going downstairs on that chiseled abdomen of Lex Luger.
Yeah, I haven't heard of the tape ever circulating, but I know for a fact it aired only in Atlanta.
On the floor, right out here outside the ring.
But it did. I've seen a couple people talk about like seeing it.
You can hear the referee.
But it is fascinating, because if you look at the booking, it's all essential, like Paul Heyman booked it, he's essentially just continuing shit that he had started in ECW, or shit that he was going to do in ECW a few months later.
The youngest man ever to start for a professional football team, as he was 19 years of age and a starting offensive guard in Canada. the Canadian Football League. Can you imagine that, playing pro football just less than 2 years after graduating from high school? That's the
It's
kind
like
of
looking
athlete
at the
that Lex
beginning
Luger is.
and the end of an evolutionary chart.
Youngster in his late 20s, and there's just no doubt in his mind that he will be the world's champion. And he will be the world's champion the very next time he wrestles Nature Boy Ric Flair.
Yeah, Luger putting his hands in that bird's nest of a
Wherever
head.
it may be, I hope that you will get your
Grabs it. Oh
tickets
shit, I have
and
lice
watch
on my
that
hand now.
That match alone worth the price of admission.
I think Mike Hart is crying.
Chiseled monster, but Mike Hart has showed so much heart. Excuse the pun.
Oh no. Oh no.
He caught him in an
Buddy.
kicked him in the solar plexus, but he caught him with all his mass and all his strength and just
All of his mass and all of his strength. Oh god. Oh.
There's a backbreaker.
Hey, King of the Rang over on Twitter. Lex has made quite a few grunts. Grabbed his balls a couple times. Tucked them in. Made sure they're still there. Yeah, it'd be funny if, like, Lex bumped for the shitty grime. There we go. Whoever taped this just did not have any patience.
Everybody expects Hawk myself to be
That LOD shirt's pretty sweet.
Got a new big bad skyscraper. Well, let me refresh your memory, boys. We didn't get 4-time tag team of the year for nothing. Tag team of the decade for nothing.
Yeah. If Mike Hart, if you knew Mike Hart from like back home, shit, I got to punch Lex Luger on TV once. It was so good.
Tell him, Hawk. Take a look at this shirt. Take a special look at it. Kind of reminds me of me. The split personality. Kind of reminds me of Animal, too. Definitely reminds me of Paul.
Always seemed like he didn't think more than a couple of words ahead.
The brain. The motor that drives the car.
But he had a good voice for it.
Cars run over things. So do road warriors. Tell him, Paul.
That is a great shirt. We need to get a bootlegger to remake it.
Tag team of the year. No skyscrapers you went and got.
Hunching over Paul there.
Somebody better. Somebody tougher. Well, to us, it's just a challenge.
Feel bad that Paul Ellering didn't get to come into the WWF with them until like 92.
And if that's not enough, we'll take on Doom.
But hey, he's cashing the easiest fucking paychecks right now. He's earned it. Hang in the Rang. Thank you so much for the follow over on Twitch. I'm glad to see folks from Twitter making the jump. Twitch is so much more fun. The design does kind of look like the Aerosmith logo. Dude, I will hit up Scotland. I think we need to, Brian. Great idea. Them bootlegging cousins. Their Sting's so happy that they didn't interrupt him painting his face this time.
Have supported this man, and his support grows in leaps and bounds every single day. He always takes
Baby. Oh, baby.
They love this man. It was on our last.
That woman just straight up gave him a hickey. I think Sting's yelling at security, hey, get her the fuck out of here.
That he had his first altercation with the Dragon Master. The return has
Hell
been
yeah.
signed for this broadcast.
Oh yeah, Kyle
Right
Fest.
now, there's the
Vasili's
bell here
dead.
on the NWA main event.
We were talking about Scotland earlier. If you want another use for Twitch, Thursday nights at 9 p.m., check out my fabulous bootlegging cousin, Scotland Green. Twitch.tv/Mr. Green Mess, the Pro Wrestling Potluck. If you like this show, you'll love his. It's a hodgepodge of viewer-submitted segments, matches, angles, and so on. Again, submitted by viewers like you. You can hit up him on Instagram, Mr. Green Mess, or ProWrestlingPotluck@gmail.com, and just send him stuff, and he'll play it. And it's like this. A lot of folks in this chat are in his chat as well. Hello, Killer Cole. Thank you for bringing the flat soda and the crackers. Glad to have you here.
Almost inadvertently said the great Muta, but when you think of J-Fest,
Anything but the free. We watched Michael Hayes a few minutes ago. I think more Freebirds coming up.
The Stinger really has this crowd electrified.
Yeah, Potluck rules. Thursday night we got some more Scotland's got some more Royal Rumble ripoffs. He's doing that all month. So go check out Scotland at twitch.tv/MrGreen. Thursday night, 9 p.m. I'll be in the chat most likely. A lot of folks are here. I know Brian's normally in the chat.
But the Stinger loves the interaction of the fans.
Number 160 Sting.
Wherever you attend an NWA,
I love that sign. He's not number 1. Fans being honest. I like you like you're my 160th favorite wrestler. You're better than like number 200.
Fans. We never documented it. We should, I guess, but instead of making it so commercialized.
Corner Studies, once again with the raid. Thank you so much.
Children's hospitals. He doesn't want the publicity for it. He doesn't.
It's Mr. Green Mist is the name of Scotland's channel. Mr. Green Mist. Yeah, he puts all Tetons El Ring. Much love to you, Corner Studies. Heart thing. There we go. That's a better heart. Right. Much love to you, Corner Studies. Yeah, Tetons is in El Ring. Scotland plays a lot on his streams. Like fucking insane. It's like Match Game meets Halloween meets pro wrestling.
That the fans have supported him.
Why was Demolition Axe's hair so nice at Survivor Series 90? Because he was out the door. He didn't want to wet that shit back.
December the 13th, where he won the single competition.
Why would the cameraman wear the brightest clothes? We ask that every week on here. WCW camera operators had no dress code. Everywhere else in wrestling, it's black shirt, black pants. Blend in the background. Yeah, let me turn that down, Drew Bog.
Not quite get the leverage and the position for it. And the Dragon Master goes down there. Single leg picked up.
Thank you for the cheers.
Freed himself from the maneuver. What a counter wrestler he has grown to be.
Hopefully that link works for
1990s. On Thanksgiving will mark Sting's 4th anniversary in the sport.
For everyone in the chat.
Relative newcomer. But I tell you something, we all saw the first
what is Sting? Is he the Sting?
27th, 1988. When he went 45
we watched Fight Zone on Not Quite Wrestling, my members only stream on Sunday. And this absolutely looks like one of the strategies. Thomas Page 90. Follow Tom. Thank you so much for the follow.
The big question now,
one of the karate instructors. Lessons. Grab the shirt and wrap him. I went to WrestleMania 8 in 1992. Steve-O wrestled. There we go, Scorpion. He got out of the guard. The Dragon Master didn't have a super long run. It was essentially just, hey, you look like you could be Great Muda's friend. That's awesome, Steve-O. I'm jealous. Norfolk Scope, I remember seeing that building when I was a kid on TV. For the Starcades. Oh shit, Sting's gonna dive.
With his unorthodox style, is not. But the Dragon Master, a very astute veteran of the squared circle, knows that the Scorpion
karate.
The coup de grace.
Fight style Sting Dragon. Yes. And for those of you who were not with us for Not Quite Wrestling on Sunday, every fighter had a specific bullshit fighting style. One of them was just yeah, there was one guy that was like Dragon style Jiu-Jitsu. Look at the size of his calves. Like when the commentators are having to go, look at the size of your calves, you know you don't have a lot going on.
But those karate kicks are another weapon that he uses so expertly. And Sting is in trouble in this return match on the main event. Dragon Master outside.
That's awesome, Jonesy. I'm jealous you get to do the sportatory. Oh shit, you met Scott Hall. That's sweet. I always heard he was so freaking big in person. But a deep cut of a Mexican show one day? Perhaps. Perhaps we could do something like that on Off the Grid. Just gonna find something that won't give me a copyright strike. Wait, Steve-O, you were one of the guys that wrestled on the WWE Saturday night? Are you the American Giant?
Now going for a version of the camel clutch. My God, it shades of
We have genuine royalty.
He's got it locked in. This is a submission move.
Tommy Greco. Hello, Tommy Greco.
And the singer is in
I'm sure you go by another name these days. That's fucking awesome, dude.
momentarily.
Grand Prix wrestling. That's a good suggestion, Mitchell. Put that in the notes. Also, a lot of unclaimed Armstrong Bingo picks. Oh, I know where to find AAA. AAA is a fun spectacle.
But a normal athlete would have given it up.
There's a lot of AAA online.
The singer fighting back up to that vertical base.
Just if I put AAA on YouTube, my channel will get bonked.
What can he do? Oh, he choked. What a move. We said his counter wrestling is some of the best in the sport. A great counter move to free himself, but he's still in trouble.
Hell yeah, dude. Hit me up,
Great camera work.
Steve-O, not that TomGreen@gmail.com. Hit me up with that story. I'm definitely interested. Not that TomGreen@gmail.com, Steve.
It is history. 1, 2, a kick. He kicked out.
No, he didn't. The Dragon Master just won. Dragon Master just got fucked. Sting forgot to kick out. The Dragon Master has won this match. Mike Atkins screwed Sting.
The man that went through the 3 toughest men.
Thank you, Yankee Hockey. I love doing that. Why They Rule on Brad Armstrong. I'm glad. It's the most positive feedback I've ever gotten on a video ever. That's badass, dude. It's so cool you got to drive them.
But the singer fighting back. That great American fighting spirit. The newest.
That great American fighting spirit that we're known for.
Downstairs. And now it's a fight. It's a street fight now.
It's a street fight now. No, it's.
Raise it to another level. Sends him for the ride.
We are going to go a little bit past the top of the hour. Always like warning you guys before I do so. I know time is precious.
Dragon Master blocking the Irish whip. Trying to block it again and is successful. He rakes the eye. And the Dragon Master threw Sting out, but he landed on his feet. He's going up to the top. He's on the top. Hot top body. Straight by the leg. He's pinned him. The Stinger has won.
Dragon Master was Kendo Nagasaki, the Japanese version, not the British guy that just unmasked recently.
February 25th, his chance to be the world champion, beating a very tough individual in the Dragon Master. He landed on his feet, high risk it right off the top, did not go for the Scorpion.
Yeah, whoever taped this was like, fuck all the other bullshit. Let's just get to what I want to see. I forget who asked about the Freebirds a minute ago, but here they are. Like, and Jimmy looks like he was shot out in 1984. He's like, fuck, where am I? I will say, as much as this era of Freebirds is a bit iffy, I love that. These guys are such fucking dweebs. Like,
let's hear this reception.
The biggest nerds. Jimmy Garvin and Precious were such a good act. Oh, here we go. Everybody feeling outdated. That everyone in this match in the year 1990 just feels like they're all very young. I think the oldest guy in this match is still in his early 30s. But just because of the gimmicks, it all feels so old. But again, I'm not insulting. Ricky and Robert fucking rule. But the gimmick.
To another level in their career, as have the Freebirds. Both these teams have achieved their greatest success when they have been in tag team environments. Jimmy Garvin was never a world champion.
Looks like Michael and Jimmy mugged that one enhancement guy we saw earlier for his glove.
What a matchup.
Yeah, I saw it. We were talking about it a little bit ago, Track. Ricky Morton and RJ have such good chemistry. Also, I'm very jealous of you, Steve-O, that you got to see the Rock and Roll Midnight match in their piece. We might watch the World Wrestling Peace Festival someday. That is a fascinating show. Los Alvarado.
That may knock the cockiness right out of his mouth. Robert Gibson with a blind tag. Gibson is the legal man.
Yeah, cockiness. I'm sure the E-ness is doing a lot of work there. Jim. Although, anybody see that story this week? Jim Ross claimed that when his wife died, Sonny offered to move in with him. And he was like, no, you're a piece of shit.
In some form, the Rock and Roll Express have wrestled the Freebirds. Familiar with both these teams for quite some time.
Like Jim Ross at his loneliness and horniest was still like,
Freebird combination of
no, Tammy.
and Garvin have
No.
never wrestled the Freebirds, and we're privileged to be able to bring it to you here on the main event.
Robert Gibson has a little boy mullet. We've discussed little boy mullets in here before.
For the ride, but he missed the clothesline.
They're like, it's like when your skull's first forming and your mom's like, oh, it looks so cool with a mullet, but they go, it's a little too far with it, and your head's not quite shaped right for the mullet yet. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, we talked about it. He dated old Missy Hyatt.
I will never, ever count the fabulous Freebirds out.
Getting in the ring. Yeah, that's his response to Tammy. Tammy, you're bumming everyone out. Just go to bed. Click.
Oh, he may be introduced to it now.
All right, Yankee Hog. Jimmy was 37. Ricky was 33. With Robert and Michael were 31. Holy shit. I'm 37, by the way. Not that I look great, but I'd like to think I look a little bit younger than Jimmy Garvin. Yeah, one person in the.
Talked about Sting wrestling the world's champion, whomever it may be, on February.
That's amazing. Brian said it's never not funny to me that Tammy matched on Tinder with my old intern who was probably about 9 during her prime.
Jimmy Garvin with straight right hands on Ricky Morton. Morton in trouble, but Morton.
So Jimmy Garvin technically retired in '93. He came back. He did one match in '94. But then he did a bunch of like indie stuff, like one-offs. So he like wrestler retired in '94.
They have both teams have been involved in some of the biggest tag team events.
That's insane. Michael Hayes on the show is 8 years younger than Jey Uso is now.
Wrestling really boomed in the 80s.
Wrestlers age differently these days, man. People do. I have heard the pre-show clip of Jim Ross. Fucking Creed again. What's the deal with Gordy? I think Gordy was in Japan, if I'm not mistaken. Because he comes in later. Because he's in the War Games at Great American Bash that year.
The elbow and the quadricep muscle is an amazing.
Yeah, I've heard Jimmy Garvin's fucking loaded. In multiple ways. By the way, shout out to my SSRI gang that take my meds for the night so I can sleep. Did I say 90? I meant 89. 89, the War Games. No, thank you so much for the follow. A lot of follows tonight. I'm so happy to have you all you newbies.
Ricky and Robert. And right now, Robert is controlling Michael Hayes.
So many new folks coming into the Erotic Eric Fontaine fan club. Glad to have you all.
Right hands right to the chest.
Very welcoming, warm group.
Very effective for Hayes.
So proud to have you all here.
Tried to land on his feet, and Garvin
tried to. Didn't do a great job of it, but he tried to land on his feet. Wait, did Ricky and Robert never have a run in World Class? That's insane to me.
And Robert Gibson tags in Ricky Morton.
I mean, it makes sense. You don't want anybody in competition with the boys, with the Von Erich boys.
Morton now working on Hayes.
For that's the teen heartthrob spot. Makes sense. Hell yes, I look forward to it. Thank you so much, Steve. Yeah, get some sleep. We'll talk soon.
Hayes with a kick to the midsection. Jimmy Garvin has been tagged in.
Thank you so much for popping in.
Buddy
Roberts. Yeah, he did something. I know he had his own fake Freebirds on the Chicago Indies for a bit. Love a good irate. More time. Okay, just for you, Steve. I'm Tom Green, and this is WCW Deep Cut. I just started doing cameos.
Hayes is feeling the punishment, though. He's taking some pain in that leg, trying to hide it. Morton not hiding his pain, not hiding his misery.
Having folks ask me to announce their divorces.
Freebirds are famous for their double teaming tactics behind the referee.
Paul, I'm afraid to say, your wife has made a marriage deep cut. You need to move out of the house.
And Ricky Morton countered, came back for the right hand, crawls on top.
All right, good night, Steve-O. Watch those fists. What are you, Nick Patrick, talking like some kind of badass? Good for the fists.
Stronger of the two at this point in time in the contest.
Jonesy.
Very timely tag made by Michael Hayes to Jimmy Garvin. Ricky Morton trying to fight out
the Jackie Crockett in the corner wearing a fucking bright red jumpsuit.
I'm surprised Morton's even standing, to be honest about it. Good tackle by Ricky Morton.
So much hair in this match. Ungodly amounts of hair. Boom! Great punch. Great punch. Oh shit.
Ricky Morton right in the kisser. And then
right in the kisser.
Out of the ring. By Hayes. And Ricky Morton is in trouble. Gosh, Hayes is brutal with those right hands. It's like an alley fight here.
This is why Ghost of Burt Prentice rules. He's a great lover. Huge wiener.
The Freebirds have this match under control at this juncture.
Exactly. If I'm good at something, don't do it.
Well, you take that for what it's worth. I'll not make any comments on his action.
Someday when I'm good at something, I'll follow that advice.
Morton is trying to get back in the ring, and he's kicked right in the face.
I just noticed the Rock and Roll's tights have back pockets on them. What the hell? Like, what would you even put in those? Are those jeans? Wait, are they wearing spandex jeans? Get up, Rock and Roll.
And Morton is getting up, but from behind, it was Jimmy Garvin.
Like, I don't even know if those are real pockets. I think maybe they just had a seamstress stitch pocket shapes. Like Jimmy Garvin's finish at this point should have he just lays the back of his head on your face and smothers you with all of his hair.
Morton's head is crimped, very similar to a sleep hole. Crank it up, Jimmy. Let's get busy.
I have a feeling that's not the only time Michael Hayes aggressively screamed, "Take it off!" at somebody on this evening.
Nice move by Ricky Morton, but he's got to make a tag.
Oh, right in the nutsticles.
With that vicious knee right to the midsection.
Yeah, just 9 years after this, Michael Hayes would be the old guy teaming with the Hardys. Yes, indeed.
Morton back on his feet. He's going on instinct and gut. But Hayes trying to beat him down. Hayes in.
Oh!
Hayes doesn't make a mistake.
Always love that WCW corner camera.
They're going to beat this kid. I can tell you that. Hey, oh, look at this arrogant man. That ain't going to work.
In the ropes. Come on, guys. You know what things are in the ring.
And Jimmy Garvin is back in the ring. It's been a long, long time since Robert Gibson has been in action in this match.
That's right, Robert Gibson had been hurt for this.
And that will give the Freebirds a chance to double team.
The difference between Jim Ross and Joey Styles calling shows by themselves, Jim Ross is having to come up with his own shit, whereas Joey's just repeating what Paul's telling him. Oh gosh. Goes to Bert Prentice. Michael Hayes is into some very disgusting underground pornography and proudly displays on his coffee table for all to experience. I've also heard that. But I will also preface that, not preface it, because it's afterwards. Allegedly. In case any lawyers ever listen, or ever hear this. But I have also heard that he is allegedly a big old creep. Allegedly. Double drop kick, which was just another move that when Tom Zink and Pillman did it.
Garvin kicking Gibson right in the back of the head. Morton knocked Garvin out. Garvin pulled the rope. Garvin pulled the top rope down. Gibson went right over the top rope to the concrete.
As you see the mat, not that the mat's that much help. Oh, come on, Jim. You can't say to the concrete when we see the mat.
The Freebirds may have stolen another one. What is there, the dynamic dude?
Oh, hey, it's Shane and Johnny. Wait, what? What? Oh, okay. It's like, we needed to know what happened. I love the guy that was taping Dynamic Dudes. Fuck, click. Even the guy that is so diehard about this that he's like, I need to archive it. Motherfuckers. Dynamic Dudes come out. No, I can't handle this anymore. Alright, and that is the end. Whoa, that's way too loud. That's the end of our show for tonight. And the guy who taped main events, like, I don't want to see things. Thank you so much for hanging out with me for the last couple hours. Always a good hang on a Tuesday with you all. Watching some WCW stuff from back in the day when we were children. Some of us were children, others weren't. But again, I am back Sunday night, 8 p.m. Eastern for Off the Grid. We're going back to Louisiana for some NWF. Terry Funk, Tuxedo Terry and commentary. And then I'm going to be back here on Twitch next Tuesday at 9 p.m. Well, Off the Grid's also on Twitch. I'm back on Twitch, not YouTube, next Tuesday at 9, like I am every Tuesday for WCW Deep Cuts Live. We'll be watching WCW Saturday Night from 1996 on that evening, I believe, if I'm not mistaken. I don't even have the schedule, but I think that's what it is. But before we go, as always, as I like to say at the end of these, even if you don't make it here, I would love to have you here. Please never take that as me saying, don't come here. But even if you don't make it here next week, I understand life happens. Please try to just make it to next Tuesday. That's all I'm asking. 7 days. I'm going to try my hardest. I know life sucks. I know life's hard. I know our brains tell us things that feel true in the moment, but they really aren't. They really aren't. You're great, and I appreciate your support of me and the great things you're doing in life right now. Whether you think they're great or not, they are. So this has been WCW Deep Cuts Live. My name is not that Tom Green. Well, that's not my name. Holy shit. Transition. Thank you for the follow. So that was gigantic. Holy fuck. That scared me. Surprised as we leave the stream tonight. But yeah, so thank you all so much. I'm Tom. Right there, that's my name. It's after 11 Eastern. Go to bed!